All right, guys, so I want to make this video. I know this video is a little bit late. This video is going to be to recap the day on Friday, some of the trades that I took. I'm going to explain, why I got into the trades, why I exited, my profit targets, and kind of explain the actual trade themselves and break down the trade. But then I'm also going to go into a recap for the week to come. So like a weekly market prep, if you will, and what kind of to expect potentially going into the market tomorrow and for the entire week itself. So let's start off with ES. This is the 6 hour time frame. Okay, one of my favorite time frames. January the 7th today at 7:27 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're gonna go back and look at what happened on Friday. So on the 6 hour time frame, the ES is in a downtrend. Very clearly, we have those beautiful higher lows, lower lows, and we got a nice higher low, which rejected and respected the previous lower lows created in the 6 hour time frame. It also rejected our weekly support level, which is now a weekly resistance. So I was expecting right around this area, so right around where the weekly support level is, this is where I was expecting our higher low to be created on the 6 hour time frame. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. The following candle came down, rejected, was red, and provided us with our new higher low. Now, as I was mentioning, this candle looks very bearish to me. It looks like there's a lot of weakness in this area. And I do believe that based on the price action, the way that the candle closed, I do believe that we are going to get quite a bit of selling pressure and we are going to see a lower low on the 6 hour time frame. Now, 4709 would be a fantastic place for us to go to and retest. We hit it on Friday, but I am expecting to see that on Monday. Friday is a weekly support level, so a very, very strong support level and a great place for a lower low. But I could see the price go as far as 46.90, which is a support level on the daily time frame, and I could see it hit around that area and then go for a higher low, which I'd be expecting it to go to around 47.18 for a higher low. So as you can see, beautiful respect of that previous lower low. Very nice price action here on the 6 hour. Very easy to read. On the daily time frame right now, we are also we technically aren't quite in a downtrend as of yet because we still haven't got a higher low, but we have gotten a lower low which broke past the previous lower lows. Okay, and now we have a green candle that closed on Friday. So ideally, what's going to happen here is we're going to get a bearish engulfing candle after the day on Monday, which is going to give us a higher low and a lower low and a bearish engulfing, which will be very bearish, and I will be scalping that definitely overnight. And that is one possibility. The other possibility is that we get a buy up from this area and we actually pump, and instead of closing red, we close green, which is completely fine. But I personally believe that this would be a great place for us to go up for a higher low if that even happens. But I am expecting the price action to be pretty bearish on Monday. So we'll have to wait and see. Now going over to SPY. So SPY, I'm kind of going to show you guys here where I took my trades and where I entered and exited. So to start off the day on Friday, we had this green candle on the 50-minute time frame. This is the 50-minute time frame. So if you look at the 1 hour time frame, the whole week we've been in a nice downtrend, right? We got beautiful higher lows and lower lows consistently being created. We finished off the day on Thursday with a lower low, okay? And we basically opened up right at the same level, very close. So this was our confirmed lower low. So basically, what we want to see is we want to see the price action go for a higher low now. But we need confirmation for that, obviously. So with that being said, on the 6:30 candle, the first candle of the day, I didn't do anything. I was very patient. I was waiting to see if we were going to get continuation to the downside and go even further down, or if we were going to go up and go for a higher low. So the price and the market decided to go for a higher low on the 50-minute time frame. I mean, you could have traded that if you really wanted to, but I didn't engage. I didn't feel like it was necessary or appropriate, so I sat out. I like to trade with the trend. So very, very interesting area is this right here. So 46977 is a daily resistance, right? So that's going to hold a lot of weight. It's going to provide a lot of resistance when the price hits that area. So, you know, there was two areas of interest that I was really looking for. The first one was our previous lower low, which is right here. So if we were in fact going to go for a higher low, I was looking to see how price would react once we hit previous lower lows, which was 468.29. Obviously, we blew right past that. The next area that I was looking at for some kind of resistance would have been our daily resistance here at 46975. Now, obviously, that was really respected. It was respected very nicely. We had a huge wick coming through it, which broke right back down. It tried again on the following candle at 7:30, failed to do so, and then that candle closed red. So once that candle closed red at 8:30, you have to ask yourself, okay, what is the price action telling me here? Are we going to go for a lower low now on the 1 hour, or are we going to go for a higher high? Very interesting assessment that you have to make here, because it could really go one of two ways. But we know that the dominant trend is bearish. On the 6-hour time frame, the sellers are in control. On the daily time frame, the sellers are in control. On the 1 hour time frame, currently the sellers are in control. So the sellers have control of this market in the current moment. So for us to assume that we're going to go for a lower low is the safer play. So for that reason, at 7:30, right? Once we hit this level, I was looking to see how price would react. So on the 50-minute time frame, as you can see, we were in an uptrend on the 50-minute time frame. We had a higher high, a lower high, and a higher high. But at 8:15, okay, so that this candle closes at 8:30. At 8:30, we had the 50-minute time frame. It completely broke its trend structure, and it switched from bullish to bearish on the 15. We got a higher high right here, but we got a huge bearish engulfing candle, which created a lower low on the 15. It broke past our previous higher high, and then also broke past our previous lower high as well. So it broke past the higher high and the lower high, and it broke past this support level as well. So at this point in time, we rejected that area very nicely, and that gave me all the confirmation that I needed to get into puts. So I basically got into puts right at 8:30. So at 469.14 area, that's kind of where I bought in. And I had a couple profit targets in mind. So my first profit target was this daily support, 46806. Second one was 46729, and the third one was 46628. So I sold 40% of my position right at this first level. I sold an additional 40% at this level right here. And once this candle broke at 10:15, I was expecting us to come all the way through and hit this level, but we did not. So once it started retracting and it started going back up, I just sold the remaining 20% once we came back up to 467.29. So by basically around like 10:20, I was completely out of the trade. I was done. And then I was looking for what else the price would do. So on the 1 hour time frame, right there and then, we got not a lower low, we actually got a same low. So a same low, well, technically this is a lower high, but barely. I would consider this a same low if you ask me, but some people would say that's a lower high. I mean, it is technically, but barely. So once we got that candle, immediately after that, we got a 15-minute bullish engulfing candle, which broke the trend structure on the 15. We broke past the previous lower low, and we broke past the previous higher low. So that told me, that price action right there confirmed to me that as of right now, that is as low as we're going to go in that current cycle until the next couple 1 hour candles come out. At that point in time, that told me the selling pressure was done in that moment, and we were most likely going to go for A, a higher high, or B, a higher low. And because we are in a downtrend, I was banking on the fact that we were going to go for a higher low, which is in fact what we did. So you can definitely trade those higher low moves in a downtrend, but you got to be very careful with it. It's not something that you can hold for a long time, and you have to be very strategic with your entries and your exits. So in the 1 hour time frame, I was waiting for the buying pressure to stop before I got into an additional trade. Now, obviously, this candle closed at 12:30, and this looks very good for puts, right? But with only 30 minutes left in the market, I didn't see the need to engage. But what I did do is on the 50-minute time frame, once we had this bearish engulfing candle come through, I decided to get into puts right at 468.19. So at 11:30, I decided to engage because this bearish engulfing candle basically told me that the sellers got back into control here. The sellers were more dominant during those 15 minutes. And what that told me is that there's a very high chance that the buying pressure is done for now, and we're most likely going to go for a lower low on the 1 hour, which is what I was banking on. So my first profit target was 467.29, and then my second one was 466.28. So for this trade, I only had two profit targets. I sold 40% of my position once we hit 467.29, and as you can see, we never hit the final profit target, which is a bummer, but that's fine. I'm still holding that 60% of that position as of right now. So I decided to hold that position into the weekend, and I'm currently holding that right now. So we will see how the market reacts on Monday. But the nice thing is, though, is we got a beautiful higher low on the 1 hour, followed by a lower low on the 1 hour as well. So this provided us with confirmation that the trend is continuing to the downside. Now, this following 1 hour candle, although it's only technically a 30-minute candle because the market closes at 1, I was expecting to see significant rejection at our previous lower lows. So I was expecting to see significant rejection at 467.29, but we decided to break right through that, which was very interesting to me. We did not break past the daily resistance level. Obviously, that rejected really well right there. You can see by the wick. But on the 15, what was a little bit concerning is that right here on the 50-minute time frame, instead of getting a lower low, we got a lower high and a higher high and a bullish engulfing all in the same candle, which is pretty bullish. Keep in mind, it is a 50-minute time frame. So this definitely suggested to me, especially when this 12:30 candle closed at 12:45, this told me that for the remaining 50 minutes of the market, we're definitely going to be going up a little bit more. So for that reason, I decided to hold my position overnight. And over the weekend, I do believe we are going to hit 466.28. That is my profit target, and that's where I decided to sell that remaining 60%. And I do believe we're going to hit that. So with that being said, guys, I do hope that helped out and kind of explained to you guys where I took my trades, why I took them, and I hope you guys can start learning from this and start taking your own trades, and we can all grow together. Now, for the week to come, ES right now is selling off, and it looks like we're going to get a lower low on the Monday, potentially. Now, for the actual weekly time frame, very nice to see. For the first time in basically almost 2 months, 2 months, we finally have a red candle on the weekly time frame. Very nice to see. This was very overdue. We needed some selling pressure. Now, this is either going to do one of two things because it's already rejected my first area, which was 47.0950. The second most likely place that I can go to, if it does decide to continue selling off, is going to be this area right here. Okay, so 4623 would be the most likely area that the price decides to go to next if the sellers decide to stay in control. And then at 4623, we could look at buying some calls or getting into some longs for a higher high on the weekly time frame. So that higher high, if we get in at 4623, and that's the final price that the lower high decides to go to, the higher high is going to be a much bigger move, right? So the higher high is going to be far past this area, which is 4,800 or 4,820. We could see a move all the way to 4,500 potentially, or 5,000 potentially. 5,000 could be the higher high location for the weekly time frame, provided that we get, I would say, a little bit more selling pressure to confirm that, and then some confirmation on some lower time frames to get into that trade. But that's something that we're gonna have to wait to see how that candle closes on Friday. So depending on how the candle closes on Friday will determine how I react, because that for me will be a swing trade. So anyways, guys, I hope that helped out and gave you some insight on what is expected for the week ahead and kind of what happened on Friday. I'll make a video recapping the day tomorrow, but have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.